Tasmania Talks with Aaron Stevens for Neil Pitts Menswear in Launceston. Great service, great range, in-store and online. neilpitts.com.au.
Michael Ferguson, Minister for State Growth, will actually officially open Tasmanian Alkaloid's new medicinal cannabis facility in Westbury. We know the benefits of medicinal cannabis. It's been well publicised. We know how good it is to people with particular conditions. It's also fairly expensive too, and we know that the quality of the product that will be produced in Tasmania will be of the best quality. And it's ironic that this opening is happening today and people are still unable to afford or get access to medicinal cannabis. The founder of Cannabis Awareness Tasmania is Lynn Cleaver, who joins me now. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Martin. How are you?
All right. I'm tipping you didn't get an invite to the opening then?
No, it might be in the mail, perhaps.
We shouldn't make light of the situation, but the case would, first of all, I guess for people that haven't heard your story, you founded this group, Cannabis Awareness Tasmania, because you had to access medical cannabis for your son, Jeremy, who's 29. Just explain the condition and how the cannabis helps him.
Yeah, sure. So Jeremy has severe refractory epilepsy, which means he's resistant to conventional medicines. He was diagnosed when he was 6, and all of the conventional medicines had failed to control his seizures, and some of them, well, most of them, to be honest, came with some pretty serious side effects. So that sort of led us to a point where we were looking for alternatives, and we landed at cannabis, like so many people do, and it went from there.
So at the moment, you're accessing it through the Controlled Access Scheme. That's the scheme that's been put up by the government to allow that to happen. So are you doing that? And I understand that despite that it's still very expensive.
Jeremy's been rejected for the Controlled Access Scheme. We put an application in 2017 when it was first rolled out. He was rejected then. We've got another application in currently, and we're hoping that the panel might change their minds on his approval so that we can get a legal medicine for him. In Tasmania, it's a little bit different to other states, so the medicines are actually subsidised and dispensed through the hospital pharmacies here, so the government is subsidising the costs. But for people that are not accessing through the Controlled Access Scheme, the medicines are very expensive.
It's crazy because everyone, including the government, acknowledge this stuff is great for the people that want to use it. You know, it's a proven, the efficacy is proven, it has fantastic results, and everyone's on the same page there. They just simply need to make it easier for people to get, is what you're saying.
Well, I think, the reality is that the government seems very keen to legalise it and export it, but very few numbers within, particularly in Tasmania, but right across the country, very few people have access to a legal product. Most people use what we call the green market, or they self-supply like what we do, cultivate their own medicine.
And to do that, you have to break the law, and otherwise the option is paying something like $500 a month, and I'm sure if you had to, you would spend every cent for your son's welfare, but you shouldn't need to, is the point.
Oh, it's out of reach. It's prohibitive for most people that need cannabis are on a disability support pension, and to even pay that much money, people are mortgaging their homes, they're running GoFundMes, or they're getting a couple of scripts and then they're going back to the black market.
Is it a simple case of just reviewing the Controlled Access Scheme and making it easier, or does it have to be? Do we need to go back to square one and draw it up from the beginning again?
It's complicated, I guess. Obviously they need to do something. The recent Senate inquiry into medicinal cannabis access that was run earlier this year actually advised. One of the recommendations was that the Tasmanian government should streamline the same access, the same as what it is for the rest of the country. So I know that the state government hasn't responded to that as yet, but then you're still left with the fact that people will not be able to afford this. So what we'd like to see is a tiered system, where you have a highly refined medicine, similar to what they'll be doing out at TasAlps, and then you have a herbalist dispensary model, and then you allow people like us to be registered to home grow their medicine and have it all above board, so that everybody's brought inside the law and back inside the care of their specialists.
It's ironic, isn't it, that it's cheaper in Tasmania, but it's harder to get, and on the mainland it's easier to get, but you pay through the nose for it. It's just crazy, isn't it?
Exactly. And, you know, what we do for Jeremy, it costs us about $20 a week to provide him with safe, organic, fresh, raw cannabis. So when you're looking at costs like that, as opposed to a couple of $100 for a 25ml bottle of cannabis medicines, you know, well, obviously people are going to do it as cheaply as they can afford.
Yeah, it's just a crazy situation, Lynn. Let's hope that that this, you know, the opportunity today with the opening of the new facility prompts the government to have another look at the controlled access scheme in Tasmania, and I certainly hope so for your and Jeremy's sake that the current situation doesn't continue.
Yep, I hope so too.
Good on you, Lynn. Thanks for your time.
Good news. Thank you.
We are. We're after some good news, absolutely. Good luck with it, Lynn. Thank you. Lynn Cleaver, who's the founder of Cannabis Awareness Tasmania. And like I said, it's crazy that, you know, the government and everyone recognises that. I don't think I've heard anyone say medical cannabis is no good, it's just a placebo, it doesn't work. Everyone you talk to about it says, yes, it's a wonderful thing. We've seen stories on 60 Minutes. We've seen experts on TV, professors and so on, saying that this stuff works. So why the hell can't we have easier access to it? And again, it's crazy, you know, you can go and get it in the mainland a lot easier than in Tasmania, but then you've got to pay exorbitant prices for it. The Tasmanian government have, I think, done a good thing by subsidising the cost of it here in Tasmania. But the other side of the coin, of course, is that it's harder to get. So, you know, where do you go? I can understand Lynn's frustration.
Tasmania Talks with Aaron Stevens for Neil Pitts Menswear in Launceston. Great service, great range, in-store and online. neilpitts.com.au